did something go wrong, yeah, 6 people additionally that shouldn't have been injured got injured that night.
Denver police share their account of how police shooting went down early Sunday morning.
Well, certainly they didn't go in with the intention of injuring other people.
For victims, they don't know if that's enough.
We need answers because I am one of the victims that is going through this mentally and physically.
And they want to make sure those involved are held accountable.
We have a problem with our justice, with the people who are supposed to be protecting us.
A touching memorial to honor the 12 lives lost 10 years ago. For the heroes who saved lives after the Aurora Theater shooting, it hasn't gotten any easier.
Saw some pretty graphic and disturbing things that I won't forget.
There was blood everywhere.
And these survivors know the entire Aurora community is going through this together.
Even the survivors, they carry wounds, some physical wounds and side effects from the injuries for the rest of their lives.
We're going to begin tonight at 6 with a live look from our Lookout Mountain camera. Dramatic shot there. Some sun trying to peek through those dark clouds there on the Front Range. National Weather Service had a special weather advisory in place. In fact, that one just expired with about 15 minutes ago. Glad you're with us tonight at 6 o'clock. I'm Shannon Ogden.
I'm Ann Trujillo. The U.S. Forest Service says there are 2 lightning-caused fires that have started in Douglas County. They're on South Platte Road between Deckers and Woodland Park in the Heyman-Burn Scar area. Both are about 1/10 of an acre in size.
So also within the last half hour, DIA said these storms are also causing delays out at the airport. So you'd be wise to check your flight before you head out there. We're going to get right to our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson, with a quick check of the radar. Mike?
All right. Thanks, you guys. Pretty good thunderstorm activity, especially over central and southeastern Colorado. A lot of lightning there and heavy rain. But let's go back to the west right at the moment. Earlier, we had a flash flood warning on the Lake Christine burn scar. That has just expired. We still have a flash flood warning that continues in the moment, and that is on the Williams Fork burn scar for some locally heavy rain. But the brunt of the storms are now pushing east of the downtown area from around DIA down toward Watkins, right along I-70. Heavy rain, and we are expecting perhaps a little bit of hail, wind gusts to about 45 miles per hour. That's what that storm looks like right now from our exclusive Viera wireless camera at DIA looking down toward I-70 and Watkins. So our headlines, the storms are moving to the southeast. They'll move out of the metro in the next hour. Comfortable overnight, hot and dry the next 2 days. I'll tell you if we'll hit 100 degrees in the 7-day.
All right, thanks, Mike. And within the past 10 minutes, Littleton Police sent out an alert that there's a major power outage impacting traffic lights. This is at the intersection of Santa Fe and Mineral and Santa Fe and County Line Road. No word if weather caused the outage. Police are making their way out to direct traffic, and they are suggesting that you avoid the area.
7 shots fired by police and 6 bystanders injured.
Today, Denver police say something went wrong early Sunday morning during a police shooting as bars led out in downtown Denver.
Denver police released these pictures today showing the suspect their officers are trying to stop outside the Larimer Beer Hall. This is at 20th and Larimer. Police say the pictures show Jordan Waddy in the street reaching in his sweatshirt, presumably for a gun. They say Waddy then walked back onto the sidewalk, pointed the muzzle of the gun at officers, which police say prompted them to shoot, and a gun was recovered at the scene.
Also new today, officers say 6 bystanders were injured during the shooting. A 6th person sought care just yesterday, and police spokesperson could not go into detail on whether those bystanders were shot or hurt by flying debris. We do know 3 of those victims have serious injuries to their arms and legs.
The police also said today that 3 officers fired 7 shots at the suspect. Those officers have been placed on leave per protocol. Now, I want you to listen to police describe the mindset of the officers who fired their weapons knowing there was a crowd of people around.
The training is specific to be aware of your target and beyond. The officers are accountable for the rounds that they fire, certainly. And that's a huge part of the training. So they were working. You saw the 2 officers in the backdrop that they had as they fired to, it would have been the backdrop of the beer hall. The other officer recognized that there were people beyond the subject, which was concerning, and he took specific attention to make sure he had a clear sight picture of the subject when he discharged a single round, attempting to prevent injury or the other officers from being injured.
The Denver Police Department says the shooting justifies a review of the department's tactics.
So no matter the protocol followed here by police, 6 innocent bystanders were injured early Sunday morning.
And now several of those victims have sought legal counsel on how to move forward.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us live. And Colette, you spoke to 2 of those victims today.
They were ending their Saturday night right here at Larimer Beer Hall. We're here at the corner of 20th and Larimer. And if you've been out on a weekend night, you know how packed these sidewalks get. People just flood out of the bars once they close. Police say they had no time to tell everyone to clear the area. But the two that I talked with, they are traumatized after what happened. And on top of everything, they say they didn't find out it was police who shot them until they were watching the news.
Frustrated, anxious, all of the above.
Everything about the sling on Yakala Welda-Hewitt hurts.
The worst part of it is trying to sleep throughout the night.
He was born in Ethiopia.
Came to America for safety and better education.
But after this weekend, he feels more scared than safe in Denver.
I heard a second gunshot, and that's when I felt like I got hit with the baseball, like 100 miles an hour type of thing.
He was one of many people in a crowd early on Sunday morning, leaving bars after a night out, when Denver police say they began shooting at an armed man.
I could feel the warmth of the blood going down my arm.
Bailey Alexander is another one of the bystanders who says she was hit.
There's still some fragments of the bullet inside of my arm, and it just burns kind of from the inside out.
And Welda-Hewitt says he's having surgery this week to try and remove the bullet stuck in his right arm.
That could have been my lungs, that could have been my head, that could have been my spine.
The two are still trying to process exactly what happened, but were even more frustrated when they learned the bullets came from police, and they found out through news reports.
Why didn't they take the public into consideration? We need answers.
They have the same lawyers who are watching the investigation closely and think officers could have acted differently.
Denver citizens do not want to be collateral damage here.
And the words they have for the department show trust that's been lost.
Just how disappointed I am with the people who are supposed to be keeping us safe.
Situations like this makes you feel like you'll never be safe again.
With both of them not sure when they'd ever go out downtown again. Denver police say there's no evidence the suspect in this case ever fired a weapon. They also haven't released the body-worn camera footage related to this incident. They're saying that's to protect the investigation, but that eventually it will be released. Live in Denver, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Thank you, Colette. And tomorrow, there will be a rally at the state capitol calling for justice in light of that shooting. It is being organized by the Denver Aurora Community Action Committee. That rally starts at 6 p.m. Now, we have an extensive article on all of the developments from today. You can find that on our website, thedenverchannel.com.
Midnight last night, dozens of people gathered in Aurora to mark 10 years since 12 innocent people were killed at this Century 16 theater. There were candles and crosses at the memorial with the names of all 12 of those people. And among the victims, a recent high school graduate, 3 veterans, 2 fathers, a mother, a boyfriend who saved his girlfriend from the bullets, and a 6-year-old girl.
And on the night of the shooting, victims were transported to multiple hospitals. 18 went to the Medical Center of Aurora.
Denver 7's Russell Haythorne spoke with first responders who were working that night to help save all 18 victims who came into their care.
Yeah, and it wasn't just ambulances showing up here at the Medical Center of Aurora. You'll recall police cars with shooting victims were also using these ambulance bays. It was chaos, but the team here at this trauma center lost no lives in that incident, something they're still very proud of to this day.
In this moment, 10 years to the day after the theater shooting,
In those early hours of the morning,
honor
Jess Childress, Gordon Cowden,
for the lives lost.
John Larimer.
As a team of nurses, doctors, and medical professionals reflects on a day
for a shooting at Century Theaters
that is still difficult.
I'm okay. I mean, this time of year brings it up. I think something that makes it especially surreal for me is that
deep wounds heal slowly.
Sorry.
It was chaos that night. Something
I'm okay.
They'll never forget.
It looked like a war zone.
saw some pretty graphic and disturbing things that I won't forget.
There was blood everywhere.
You don't understand how anybody could do something like that
to hurt so many people.
And yet, there was also a collective sense of purpose and calm in the response to such a tragedy.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
At that time, just seeing everybody pull together like they did was absolutely amazing. We had nurses from other facilities, volunteering to come help in our emergency department in the OR.
By early morning, patients were in beds.
Everyone was actually very calm and doing their work with a lot of focus and intentionality, with a lot of purpose to take care of our patients.
And today,
So I'm grateful for this group.
That just speaks volumes to the people that we have here.
as with all days, it's not about the nurses or doctors, but about those they serve.
Even the survivors, they carry wounds, some physical wounds and side effects from the injuries for the rest of their lives, and of course emotional wounds.
This affected every person at every level.
In Aurora,
This is an amazing hospital.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
And there are more remembrance events planned for Saturday, including a Heroes 5K run and a reflection ceremony where all the victims' names will be read. And we've put together all the details for you right now on thedenverchannel.com.
A horrific crash nearly ended his life when he was a baby, and he has lived in a wheelchair ever since.
I fear every day, like, what if I fall and nobody's here?
Local nonprofits making sure this man is ready for whatever life throws his way.
This is something that can actually save somebody's life.